Welcome to the Emajin Golf Podcast Beyond the 19th. I'm your host Raj Narayan, and today I catch up with Benji Kushawa, Managing Director at White Spot Group. Benji has been a new member of Emajin Golf, and he shares his amazing journey coming from Nepal all the way to Australia and building a massive cleaning business that looks after 600 plus clients. A great, inspiring story. Hope you enjoy. Benji, you've been a member of Emajin Golf for about 6 months now, I think. Feels like I've known you forever. You've been so actively involved in the community. We've caught up so many times. You're a platinum member of ours. And look, absolutely delighted to have you on the podcast. So welcome.
Thank you, Raj. I really appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
Fabulous. Now, Benji, you have an amazing background. I mean, I've had the opportunity to learn more about your background and where you come from. And you're obviously originally from Nepal, from an accounting background. Now you run a large leading cleaning business. So let's start a bit about the early days and tell me a bit more about Nepal and how you grew up and what made you come into Australia.
Yeah, so I born in Nepal. So when I was there, I was doing my education, and part of my education, um, I came in Australia to have my further education. So
Oh,
my
fantastic.
my dad always wanted to be me to become like any Asian parents wants a doctor, engineer, or pilot. So I dreamed about I want to become a pilot, and I was in a totally engineering background. And one day I seen a lot of friends the management. I love the way management, business, and all these things was always when I was a kid was always inspiring. Like my
Yes.
dad used to be in business, so I see him doing business. He's out on the tour all the time, doing amazing things, and that actually inspired me. And no, I should be in business or something, accounting, and some. Then I called my dad and said hey, I know you've been putting all this want me to be career in this account IT or engineering and this thing, but this is not very interesting to me. I really want to do something. Maybe I'm wanna go in a business. So he was a bit in shock.
Yeah, look, I think you're absolutely right. A lot of the Asian parents, mine was the same. My dad was like, he wanted me to be a doctor or an engineer or something. And accounting was, luckily for me, one of the things. My dad was an accountant as well.
Yeah,
So you have a fellow accountant, Benji.
yeah.
So obviously, so you decided to do accounting, which is a very safe degree if you want to go into business,
Yes.
I suppose. So where did you study?
So I started come here, I started with my diploma,
Mm-hmm.
and then I continue my bachelor, then I continue my CPA as well.
Mm-hmm.
So did a little bit of accounting, and then throughout the when I came as a student in here, so during my this a journey,
Yeah.
I was doing a lot of different, also working myself.
Yes, doing different jobs. I mean, I've done that as well. I've had like
Yeah.
4 jobs at one point.
Yeah. So I was mostly any jobs there. I have done all of them,
Mm-hmm.
which is very good. Especially throughout that period, I learned a lot of things, especially how to manage a team, working in a different environment.
Mm-hmm.
Working with different people, and I came to know oh, I'm getting a lot of this knowledge and all these things, and maybe I can do something about it. So then I started thinking about doing some business.
Oh, fantastic. And so why cleaning? How did you come into that area, Benji?
So, there is a lot of choices we can make, and especially with my family. Like my wife is also from accounting background. She
Okay.
was a very top tier accountant with a multi-billion company,
Mm-hmm.
and we both were talking more in accounting and all these things. So then we talk okay, this cannot keep going. It's gonna be a hard conversation. Like every day we are working in a similar industry. We need something different, right? So we thought okay, how about I have worked with a different background of work. Now I think there is a one industry which is cleaning, is quite different and
Mm-hmm.
very we can do. I can especially do a lot of better because throughout my work I seen there is no system in the place. Like a lot of
Yeah.
company are doing the business, but there was not done very properly. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought I can bring a revolution in that company,
In the
industry
industry, yeah.
actually, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then started on then the industry from basic.
And so was cleaning one of the jobs you did of when you were a student of all the jobs you had?
Yeah, I had done all the jobs. That's one
One
of
of
the
them,
job.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because I had a few. I worked in a petrol station for a while, and then worked in a mechanics shop when I
yeah,
have no skills
yeah,
in mechanic.
yeah.
But I did all the paperwork, all the invoices and
Yes.
stationery and all of the payroll and everything.
Wow.
So I've done little jobs like that back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. So you obviously to get a bit of pocket money
Yes.
during your studies, you did cleaning,
Yes.
and then you observed all these things in the industry and thought, oh, there's an opportunity here to do something completely different.
Yes.
And you're probably right because if you look at cleaning, it's probably very fragmented as an industry.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people doing a bit of cleaning, small jobs and things.
Yes.
But I don't know whether there is this whole systematized process.
Yes.
So probably a great idea. And so tell me the early days. I mean, obviously you run a very successful business now, but I know you built it from the ground up.
Yes.
So let's talk about the early days of setting up this cleaning business.
So in early days, like when we started, like, actually, we bought a mop and bucket, and then we were trying to, like, we didn't have a lot of money, because everything, like, we were, like, very tight with the budget as well, and looking out ourselves. So and we went bought a very old van
Yeah.
and some equipments and all these things, and then the challenge come, okay, we got this everything now, or how we gonna go do the clients, and then
Yes.
find the clients. So this is where comes like all this old experience, right? So when we were looking for a job, we used to, back in old days, like there was a gum tree, and then you can put your ad and things like that. So we start putting some ad in a gum tree, like, hey, anyone looking for cleaner, please contact me, or something like that. So
Wow.
and so we got our first inquiry, and like and then we turn up. Of course, we know how to do the job, but never from the business point of view. So we walk in, and then the guys are like, okay, we went there, whatever he asked, we did the job. And I'm like, okay, how much? And I was like, whatever, whatever you feel like. So we work like, just like we went there, did the job, we got some money, and that's like first money. Oh wow, we made some money. Yeah. So because a little bit taste of the business is there, and that's where then we start pushing, like, okay, how about we push a little bit, roll an ad in there, and then maybe put some $10 or $20 ad, and we can start getting more leads and all these things. So we start getting more customer and more customer. So slowly, we were getting busy at the same time. And then slowly during the research, a little bit of, we had a little bit of education background as well. So start looking yellow page, white pages, registering here, online listing, Google, and all these things. And that's how we started getting the clients and things like that. So
Oh,
yeah.
fantastic. So for early days, just you and your wife heading out and cleaning, was it residential or anything?
Yeah, and we
Commercial.
were doing like, started from residential.
Residential,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's very easy access. You
Yeah.
can contact. You just go house to house,
Yeah.
and then do basic cleaning, and yeah. So that's where, like, very very basic house cleaning.
Wow, I'm just so impressed with this story, Benji. So obviously you started cleaning and you were doing all these jobs. So when did you decide to get, or how long was it before you started getting employees and people, like where you grew to a point where you two couldn't do all the jobs and you started getting people in?
Yeah, so that's where, like, so once we started getting so many leads, like okay, we can't do ourselves,
jobs?
right? Or so then we get our friends, a couple of friends, like, hey, can you give me some hand? I need one guys tomorrow, and then next day we need the two guys, and then so slowly, like the team start building, and then sometimes then we bought other vehicles, and then we have new more teams, so more jobs, the two jobs happening at the same times, and that's how we start growing and growing, and then yeah, so
So today you have 300 plus people, staff,
yes.
doing cleaning. What do you focus on today? Do you do residential still, or is it all commercial projects? Tell us a bit more about, White Spot Cleaning today, or
Yes.
group, White Spot Group.
Yeah, so what happens? So during our journey, we started from the domestics, but again, like, when we grow, our client requirements has changed. We saw something more disrupted in the other industry, which is more commercial, and so we start our industry to switch from domestic to commercial, because again, like, we felt like domestic is more like, I need to be there. It's very personal touch and all these things. So to make it like a little bit, because we start rely on teams and and the staff. So this we have to change a little bit the model to make it work,
Yes.
and also it's give us opportunity how we gonna operate 24/7, because when we
Okay.
yeah. So when we're doing a residential, like we can only work in during the working hours, or maybe in during the day. But when we enter in the commercial, so we can operate 24/7, because even the buildings or clients.
Obviously, yeah, you clean after hours and things like
Yes,
that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's right. So yeah.
Fantastic. So tell me, how did you come about with this name, White Spot?
Okay, so this one is funny, we were thinking, okay, what name we should be put it, and right. So sometimes, a color white means like
Obviously,
it's
clean. Yeah.
clean, it looks cleaner, it just like reflects good, and also when we look, because we are in cleaning industry, so a dot and greens and always like it's dirty, right? So it's brown, it's dark, and all
Yeah.
these things. So what happens, like when we start like take a project, so it's just like be clean and
Create
clean
white
and
spots everywhere.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
everything's
yeah.
white.
So we bring it in a like it's a clean, like make it clean. So
Yes.
yeah, so that's where we any spot we see, we can clean it, bring it nice and clean. So that's how the names came in.
Come into White Spot. Oh, okay, so you
Yeah.
make all the spots white. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool name because I always like to chat to people about how they came up with their business name, and every
Yes.
time it's a different thing. Like Imagine, we have our own story of why our business is called Imagine and why it's spelled that way,
Yeah.
etc. So it's interesting to see the White Spot is and probably very apt for your
Yeah.
industry and
Yes.
what you do.
Yes.
It's probably quite an apt name over there. So look, it's an interesting journey. A lot of similarities to mine actually, because I come from India and same came here as a student, studied accounting, and worked many jobs, and then from there moved into I worked in banking for many years, and then
Yep.
moved into golf, but similar. And I always find it really impressive, like coming from Nepal, studying, doing jobs like cleaning,
Yeah.
but getting some pocket money, and now
Yes.
you've used that and built a massive business through that. So tell me, I mean, what differentiates White Spot? I mean, what has led to this growth? How have you grown? I mean, I know you can put ads on Gumtree, but many people do. I bet you they don't
Yes.
grow that. They don't
Exactly.
grow such a large
Exactly.
business. So
Exactly.
yes,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Tell me your secret, Benji. Give us
Okay,
your
there is a
secret.
lot of secrets, right? So during the journey, right? So like every year, like the model change, like because what happens, like let's say sometimes the clients come in, hey, can you do this one? And always when we build our team or build like everything, so we have like a do attitude, like always like something. Hey, can we get it done? Okay, no problem.
Yes.
So always we have a mindset like our job is to solve a problem. Okay, so anywhere we see a problem, our goal is like how are we going to solve this problem.
Yeah.
So that's one of the mindset we kept it. So that means like sometimes the client came in, hey, we got a site in New South Wales, can you able to do it? Yes. Also we got a site in Victoria. Oh, okay, no problem. When you want us to start? And he goes like tomorrow. Okay, so we took that challenge, right? So even with sometimes we see we don't have infrastructure, nothing, but we made it happen.
Yes.
So brick by brick, similar happen everywhere. So like we started in Queensland. Sometimes we get some client and national clients. So sometimes they're like in Victoria, and they might say like, "Hey guys, do you service in Queensland?" I say, "Yes, we do service in Queensland." And again, we went back to back, like how we're gonna find things.
Come
organize-
tomorrow. Sure, no problem.
Yes, come tomorrow. So we went there, we organized everything, and we made it happen. So
Yes.
so we built like a team of throughout all these different whatever came in, we try to like we always
yeah.
solution, right? So we find the solution, we do it, we always and we start growing and then again become like a different industry. Sometimes like becomes from domestic, then in commercial is quite huge, like
Yeah.
it's a quite huge range, right? So it can be like a buildings, it can be a childcare, so medicals or aged care or health, or warehouse logistic or like massive. So because I started from very scratch, which gave me a little bit opportunity to learn all these different what client wants, right? So we were
Yes.
talking to the clients, hey, this is something we can do better, or this is something other company does it. So like a lot of they have like we always went there and listen their problems. So they talk like, okay, this company they can't do this. These are like they don't have this system in the place. They don't have a good operation systems. They don't have like all this audit and reporting and all these things. and then we realize, okay, this is something we can improve, then we have more opportunity.
Yes.
So we start listening to our clients, listening to
Mm-hmm.
our customer, their problems, and we start again, like whatever came in, like, okay, reporting, okay, how are we going to solve our reporting problem? Let's do build a system we can solve the reporting. Then
So what
comes,
do? You report back on the what you've done, the jobs.
yeah,
Ah,
so we
fantastic.
created a system in the place, like, or apps that actually like, every monthly or weekly or daily, the staff can report in the system, and then we send the report to the clients, and that's happening. Sometimes, like, oh, we have this cleaning company, but we never see any managers come and meet me.
Mhm.
And that's like, okay, we need the operations supervisors, managers to do those communication
Communication.
gaps, right?
Yeah.
Understand they might have certain issue, so understand. So
Mm-hmm.
we build that tier of team who
Yeah.
went there and then meet to them, and talk to them, and then we start focusing on the quality service.
Yeah.
So then the clients start, trusting us, oh wow, these guys are listening, these guys have a system in the place. And also sometimes, a lot of company thinks this is very easy industry, but it is not. It's very compliance industry, so we
Yes.
have to make sure we are making sure we are taking all the consideration of the compliance, right? So insurance, police checks, or can be a lot of compliance, like a white card, green card, and working with children, because different industry have a different requirement.
Mm-hmm.
So we start doing those assessment on all the industry, like what they need and how we're gonna be a leader in the company, or what can be done different than what other companies not doing. So yeah, we start making sure those every single problem, we heard it, we made a solution, and we came with the idea, and we implemented it. So that's how we are different than other
Yeah.
company.
Yeah. I mean, I've never heard of cleaning companies giving you reports weekly, monthly, or daily is like a level above. But
Yeah,
even monthly, like you rarely ever get reports. You have a
yeah,
cleaner and they
yeah,
just clean, and
yeah,
most of the times you see something is not clean, you just go, oh, whatever, walk
yeah,
away.
exactly.
So it's something that you've revolutionized, and also the big thing is around that accountability. So your managers going up and meeting them, reporting back, and taking accountability for it. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's simply amazing. And the biggest thing I love, Benji, it really, really resonates with me is just say yes.
yes.
No no's. Like, oh, can you go to Melbourne? Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yes,
I
that's
love it because what happens is it makes it really easy to do business.
exactly.
People do business with people where it's just really easy to do business.
Yeah,
I've had this before where, people are, have a really great, successful business, but you employ them and then it's really hard to do business.
yeah,
You may
exactly.
really like them,
Yeah,
but it's just a pain because for everything, you can't call them, you can't talk to someone,
yeah,
you got to write them messages on Slack or whatever.
yeah.
It's so hard to do business. And I said, well, and you write something, you don't hear back. So then people just usually, that's when you lose clients. People just change and
Yeah, this is one
go,
of
oh,
the
this is too hard.
things. Exactly, totally agree on that one. And this is what we, when, like, especially because earlier stage, I used to do all the marketing, right? So all the aspect I got involved, right? So we've seen, like, sometimes like a marketing point of view, or a complaint point of view, or making sure the job is not done, or timing and all these things. So one of the challenge when we were talking to the clients, like, hey, because we want to get some contract, like a commercial cleaning company or any company to come and do any task. Our job is to, because we want someone, a specialist in this industry,
Mhm.
who know what they're doing. It's
Yes.
not like they come in and they're gonna ask, like, we have to tell them do this, do that. No one likes that, because, and that's what, like, to become like there, give them a solution, give them a consultation, give them a plan, like how can be done better, because everyone is specialized in their skill. Maybe a doctor is like a good at what they can do, look into the patients, what's right. So similar, like in cleaning, we can see from our eyes, and it's like, okay, we can do this one better for you.
Yeah.
Or oh wow, I didn't even realize. So sometimes they get in shock, like we walk in some of the places, and then the floor, and we see the floor, and like, oh, your floor, this can be done better. No, no, we have this floor from last 3 or 4 years, just like that. And when our teams come in and they suddenly make those change, and like, the guy go like, wow, what just happened here? I was thinking we have to get this floor change, or it's gonna cost a huge money. But sometimes just like a technology or a system in the place, or someone is specialized in the industry, they come in and do things very different. It's
Yeah.
the same job. it's just done very differently and have a better result. And so that's actually help client to save a lot of a cost, and
Yeah, I mean that's just so amazing. And look, what I'd love to learn, Benji, is how do you do it? Like, I mean, 300 different people go, not you every time.
yeah.
And in any business, as they're scaling, as they're growing, to maintain that quality, to maintain that standard, that is the hardest challenge.
Yes.
Because of course, if you go, you're the owner,
Yes.
you're gonna
Yeah.
care more,
Yeah.
you're gonna do more,
Yeah.
you're gonna say yes more often.
Yes.
But what prevents some employee who's going there, employee number 286,
Yes.
turns up and then they just like, oh, sorry, we can't do this, or
Yes.
or the job is not as clean. And especially in something like yours, cleaning, it's very hard
Yes.
to create that standard, to create that
Exactly.
culture. So what have you done differently? How do you make all these people do
Oh,
it?
that's a great question.
Once you tell me, I'm going to do it and then it's going to be solved.
This is one of the core thing, right? So I think like sometimes a lot of companies when they grow, they forget the like why they are there, right? So they like quality and consistency and maintaining those same standard what owner wants, right? So because you're relying on your team. So what we do here is different than the other companies, like definitely like training program, like a lot of training. We go through the teams, anyone onboarding comes on, it's like we have a very in-depth training. So we go through every single procedure plan. We want to make sure they understand what's company vision and goals is, because that's very, very important. Because sometimes the owner can be know everything, they want to do the best, but we are not the direct face of the clients. The
Yes.
client, the direct face may be just a cleaner who is working on the side, and people do assessment based on the cleaner, like how good is this company, so
exactly.
like they might say like, oh, the cleaner turn up, they're doing fantastic job, great company, great culture. But sometimes the cleaner comes in one mistake and they're just suddenly not like on the staff, they're just like, oh, the company is not very good, so it's very, very important be heavily invest on the training and the procedure and the plans. And then what we do is like implementation as well. So once they go through those training, making sure those get implemented, and also supports. So because we have a lot of support program where, like let's say a cleaner, then there will be a supervisor supporting him, guiding him throughout the process, and also training them.
Yeah.
And then on the top, like then the operation managers comes in, or national manager comes in, area managers comes in. So all the system, because we build this system from the scratch. So what happens, everyone has been have a different role, but everyone is been trained to achieve the company mission and vision, and achieve our goals, and why we are in the industry. Because this is why we have to be different. Because if we are not maintaining those things, then the client can
Yes,
like,
exactly, because
we're gonna lose the client.
and I talk a lot about this, and I'm lucky, my team, I'm very lucky to have an amazing group of people at Imagine, and we have the same thing, delighting our customers, delighting our members, and
Yes.
I try to, impact that on every person, but they're all very self-driven as well.
Exactly.
Any one of them, whatever's happening, you'll see at our events, you'll see anywhere, they make sure that all the members are all happy and they're
Yes.
all having a good time, and
Yeah.
everything's going good. And it's really hard to do as you scale, because every time you come in,
Yeah.
there is more and more people. So the first 10 might be the, first
Yeah.
adopters, but
Yeah.
then as you get the next 5 and the
Yes.
next 10, it just gets harder and harder. And that person who's far away, that employee number 286,
Yes.
they probably don't spend a lot of quality time with you at all.
Yeah.
So you really need your managers to be
Manager,
impacting.
exactly. So that's something what we do is, like, again, like the training the manager, how to train them as well. So right,
Yes.
so it's not just how to do your job, but also how to making sure, like, those messages getting passed throughout the process.
Yeah.
And we all have a similar understanding. Because again, that start with the culture and the people, and we believe and always work on how we're gonna maintain the culture and the people, understanding with the mindset, training
Yeah.
on their they are self-driven, which is like you mentioned.
Yeah.
They need to be self-driven as well, especially in the managerial role. Because sometimes it's very hard, you micromanage, do this, do that, so it's very complex work, especially when we are in a scaling stage.
Yeah.
So the training the team in like self-driven, making those decisions, giving them a responsibility, and making them accountable as well.
Yes.
So that's help us to become better person for themselves and also for the company. And what happens, they add a value to the company and the clients.
Mm-hmm.
That means like we always look into how we're going to add value to their lives, or or just like simple thanksgiving, or like appreciating their works, or just celebrating sometimes. So it's a lot of factor in the back end we have to work, so
Yeah.
the whole system is working properly.
Yeah, no, totally. This is really fascinating, and how you've rolled it out and how you scale so rapidly. Because how long have you been in business? Just 10 years.
So now, yeah, 10
10
years
years. I mean, 10 years
exactly.
is a long time, but also not that long
Yeah,
to scale and build this whole,
yeah,
this whole cleaning group,
yeah.
which is fantastic. I'm very, very impressed, Benji. This is
Thank you so
great.
much.
So, look, we've talked a bit about the culture. We've talked about your growth and how you've maintained it. I know one of the things you really believe in is your foundation as well.
Yeah,
I'm a big believer in giving back. And
yeah.
at Imagine, we support so many different charities, so many good causes. So tell me a bit more about your foundation, Benji.
So it's the foundation little bit start from back in my parents and all these things. So my parents come from a very community person, right? So what they always done is always they taught me it's not just about like what you're gonna do for community and peoples. So and somehow even I'm very far away from them,
Yeah.
like always been away, always been other country, or sometimes we left
Mm.
very early stage, but that rooted me inside, so like, okay, we got everything, but what we gonna do, what we gonna give back to the people,
Yes.
so or anyone around. It can be anyone, it can be a simple like a team, or people around you, or families around you, or a community, or a country.
Hmm.
So then we like that's always was inspiring, and also like now we need to find out like the way we're gonna do it, building a separate ecosystem around it, or people around it, so with a similar mindset, because it's need to have a very, very giving, caring people,
Yes.
it's need to have a totally different understanding, it's not, there is no, we don't get paid for anything, but we have to keep doing something what we believe in. So this is where we started a Wisdom Tree International Foundation.
Hmm.
So what Wisdom Tree International Foundation does is like we do a lot of charitable works in Australia and overseas, helping disadvantaged people, especially in the education and well-beings. So like EBC somewhere, like someone need a support in
Hmm.
education, or just maybe start from one or two or three, so we help them to, because I believe I become very lucky in
Mm.
so many things,
Yeah.
right? So
Hard work equals luck,
yeah,
Benji.
hard work plus lucky, yeah.
But you need to have a little bit of luck. Yeah,
Yeah, so a
exactly.
lot of hard work is always there, right?
Yeah.
So still I work 18 hour, like
Yes.
normal. It's still I work. So before I used to work like a lot, but still I work normal 18 hours. So hard work is always there. But sometimes also becomes like, you do the right thing. The people around you get right as well.
Hmm.
You get surrounded with those things. And this is like then we start because education, one of the things we believe is education is very important, because that help us to make a better decisions every day. So I like one of the things we always the charity does is help
Help.
kids,
Yeah.
and especially very vulnerable and disadvantaged, who will not have opportunity or something, we can make some difference in their life.
Yeah. Hmm.
So this foundation is helping those
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 things.
those you know and also a little bit on poverty as well, because we came from, I don't come from very rich family
Yeah.
background, we came from medium class. So I understand how hard and tough the families are there, and or anywhere sometimes become is very hard. So I think we have achieved certain things, or we still have to achieve a lot of things, but also giving back is a good thing, and we
Yeah.
always have to giving back to the community, whatever. It doesn't need to be like big, it can be very small, something I can share my knowledge or my skills, or something I can change anyone's little bit of life, or something, financially or monetary or whatever. So yeah,
Oh,
so we always
fantastic. Yeah.
look for that opportunities as
No,
well.
that's amazing. I'm a big believer in education as well, and I think the whole saying, "Don't give them a fish, teach them how to fish,"
Yes,
and that's what it is like. Because when you give people education, you give them the skills, the tools to
yes,
go and get their living. You don't
yes,
have to give them handout all the time,
yeah,
and also helping children. I mean, that's fantastic. That's
yeah.
amazing.
Thank
So
you.
I wish you the best for the foundation, and to do more great work in that space. So look, this is a golf podcast. We
Yes,
call it Beyond the 19th, and it's all about building relationships beyond the 19th hole, beyond the golf course and connecting with people.
Yes.
But let me also talk a little bit about your golf.
Yes.
Tell us a bit more about your golf, Benji. How long have you been playing golf? And I know you come to all of our events and play at all of our events.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's quite interesting, right? So when when we're doing business and all these things, so I met my wife, and normally, and then like, okay, we wanna like always we wanna make a plan for go out a day, like sometimes spend a single day just doing like
No,
something, right?
yeah.
So okay, we go for a lunch, but what we gonna do there, right? So then like the golf always is one in my mind. So we went there. We both bought a club and like both bought like a whole set. And how about let's go play golf? And we go to a good restaurant there, sit there. We can play a little bit, spend a little bit of time. We talk about it, and then we have a great lunch and dinner, and maybe spend the whole day. So we started in 2017.
Yeah.
Like couple of weekends we just go casual, like we're not like no handicap, nothing.
Yeah,
Just go and play and have a lunch. That's what our goal. So and while doing that, I start enjoying it, right? So it's quite it's very enjoyable. Like it's firstly it keep me healthy because I was
Yes.
walking, I was in the sun, did bit of exercise as well, outdoor, which enticed me like, oh no, this is a great game, out of the business. Some of the times like in the office or with the teams, just on the green, like on the grass, on the
Yeah.
course. And so I start having fun. Then 1 or 2 years we had little bit of like a fun part.
Yeah.
Then we had 2 kids, and then like life changed a little bit. Like you are running a business with so many responsibility, and then you come raising 2 kids. So we raised the kids, we had, and then couple of years it took us so much time and energy, so we didn't
Yeah.
have this weekend or golf time, right?
Yeah.
So then I told one day to my wife, like, no, I need to start having this go out, meet the people, because in the business it's not just a team or like the colleagues who work around. We need to go start seeing more people, and I saw this is the only game give me a lot of opportunity to go and see the people around, talk to them, just have a beer, which I enjoy, have a drinks, and
Yeah.
and just like just
Look,
introduce
yeah.
yourself.
But no, it's a great golf is so good to build relationships because the fact that you're playing golf for 4.5 hours means
Yes.
you're spending a lot of quality time.
Yes,
And most of the time you can't use your phone, so you don't have your phone or other distractions.
yes,
So I find that it's rare that I would actually spend 4.5 hours without checking my email or phone anywhere other than on the golf course.
Yeah.
Unless I'm sleeping, then
Yeah.
maybe I don't.
Yeah.
But if I'm not sleeping, I'm always on some device, always checking.
Yeah.
If every half an hour, 15 minutes, I'm always looking at my phone
yeah,
for some reason. And even when I'm in meetings, I come out of the meeting, I quickly check what's happened. So it's a great way to kind of take that
Yeah.
step back. But the other benefit as well is it builds those great relationships. You get
Yeah.
to connect with people at a different level. And also, I think a lot of it is because you're not always talking business. You got to hit the shots.
Yes.
It's a good shot or it's a bad shot. You have a shared experience. No
Yeah.
matter how you're playing, you have a shared experience because everybody has good shots.
Yes.
Everybody has terrible shots.
Yes.
This
That's
is
what-
golf.
yeah.
You see, like the pros are shanking the ball. That happens to everyone. So it's really a good way to connect with people in a kind of relaxed environment.
Yeah, that's what I found. Like, especially when we relate business and golf, it's so strategic, right?
Yeah.
So in business, like we have some bad days, right? Suddenly, like things are happening, everything worse everywhere. And then similar in the golf, we have like bad shot out of bad shot, and then suddenly next day you are not prepared, but you suddenly have a very good shot. So it's like very strategic, and it's also give us a mindset as well. Sometimes a situation happen, how you're gonna handle it, what you're gonna do, what decisions you're making on that scenario.
Yeah.
So it's quite relate. So it's keep up with that pace as well. So yeah, so it's happened me a lot of times. Like like sometimes we get in the business, like and the team come, oh, we have a problem here. Then other one comes, we have a challenge. This one, so we start thinking like how we're gonna solve this problem. It's here as well, like a lot of patience,
Yeah.
a lot of back end, like a training or consistency, right? So like we need to make a mindset where we practice like ourselves, because you have to prove yourself, right?
Exactly. And it builds resilience as well because it teaches you how to deal with all the bad shots.
Yeah.
I find that sometimes, I could be practicing a lot
Yeah.
and still not have a good day. And sometimes you don't do much. I don't warm up. I just turn up at the first tee and I'm having a great day playing golf.
Yeah.
So it mimics life in that way. Because life
Exactly.
is like that. Sometimes you
Exactly.
do a lot and then
Yeah.
great things happen, and sometimes you do a lot and nothing happens.
Nothing happened.
So yeah, it
Yeah.
mimics life. So tell me, you're talking about connecting with people, playing with people. Who would be in your dream four ball? If you could have anybody in the world that you could play with, Benji, who would you pick?
I think there is a lot of people I want to play because this is something, like always for me is like seeing people from different industry as well as in the golf industry. But one thing always happened when I was a kid, so I saw Tiger Woods always in the business magazine
Yeah.
because I was a business guy and reading a lot of business books and magazines, and he was always on the like cover page, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you're
that's
like,
right.
wow, something is there, right? So that's also bring me in the golf. And so, maybe if I get the opportunity to see him or meet him personally,
Yeah.
or a handshake, or maybe just get some tips, I will be like, that will be my, one of the
Dream,
things I
yeah.
want to dream, come
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
And maybe your wife as well. I didn't realize she was a golfer, Benji.
Yes, she
You
do.
never brought her to our events.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll bring her.
Yeah.
She enjoys. She like a lot of these events. She's very like like to see business people and talking to them. And understanding on the different industry as well.
Yes, because I find that especially golf is a very male dominated industry.
Yeah,
So it's really hard. I mean, not many women play. Only 17% of all golfers in Australia are female.
yeah.
So it's great. They're like unicorns. I call them unicorns.
Yeah.
It's like you see them very
You can rare-
rarely.
yeah,
And as soon
exactly.
as you see them, you got to capture them and put them into your
Yeah.
into your group. So definitely you're gonna have to bring her along. And look, I play a lot of golf, and I find that golf is a great, escape for both of you as well.
Yes.
So you can have, yeah, with your kids, for example, it's always great for you two to have some time by yourself.
Yeah, definitely,
And
definitely.
golf is great for that. Like when you go on holidays or anything, get a babysitter, play some
Yeah.
golf.
Yeah, one thing also I like imagine is like, especially this networking when we talk about, because when we are in a industry, right? So in a
Yeah.
growth industry or multi locations in Australia and New Zealand,
Mm.
So what especially we found in Imagine, best thing I found is like you see these diverse people, right? Coming from all different industry expertise,
Yeah.
CEO, founder, and they are like, like everywhere, like, they are from different city, different industry. And sometimes we get this opportunity to share our knowledge or skills or
Yeah.
maybe just a normal chit chat, right? So, and then we learn a lot of things, and that's like very very powerful, knowledge we get throughout these events, and just knowing them, understanding every company have a lot of challenge, like we have our own challenge, industry
Yes.
challenge, and maybe they have their own, but just there are a lot of common challenges that people face every day.
Mhm.
And just like this also provides a platform where we can easily talk, and share.
Share, absolutely. Look,
Yeah.
I'm very happy to hear this, but I find that as well. I find I'm talking to a lot of my members, and we learn so much because where we are in our journey, like we're
Yes.
3 years into the journey, we're growing rapidly. We
Yeah.
have a team is growing.
Yes.
So all of the things you've said in this podcast today are relevant to me.
Yeah.
How do you maintain the culture? How do you create this, culture of saying yes all the time?
Yes.
And taking on every challenge and building.
Yeah.
So it's great because I learn a lot from you, and you learn a lot from someone else, and
Yeah.
everybody learns from everybody. So I think it's like a really great. I mean, we're really lucky to have some amazing members who are very willing to share
Yeah.
their insights, share their knowledge, and also you'll notice like very friendly. Everybody's always happy to support somebody else,
Yeah.
which is really which is indeed lucky for us.
Yeah. Other thing I like in Imagine, like, the keynote speaker, because
Yeah.
this is something is a very, I think, is a very, very value added things there we get. You can't see it, but it's indirectly is adding a lot of value.
Yeah.
Right. So they are like, a certain business they have built or leadership or, different topics they discuss. And sometimes what this actually give to any business owner is like certain things they start looking from different glasses, right? So sometimes we don't know there is a problem or
Yes.
something we should be implementing these things, and sometimes just listening throughout their journey or throughout their story, and sometimes feel like, oh wow, there is something we are lacking or we can improve, or just be open ourselves with a new potential challenge as well. So I think that's a very very good a way
Oh,
of
good.
doing business and understanding and a lot of information.
And Look, totally agree. I'm a big believer in learning and creating learning opportunities
Yeah.
and also sharing these insights. That's a great way. Yeah. We've been lucky to attract some great speakers as well. And always I try to think what would be relevant, the topics.
Yes.
We always think a lot about the topics of what
Yes.
people speak about.
Yeah.
Like we had the CEO of Australia Post come, but he didn't talk about Australia Post. He
Yeah.
talked about e-commerce
Exactly.
and how what growth he's seen, because from the delivery perspective, they see the growth.
Yeah.
And then really what implications you can take as a business owner to your business,
Yeah.
that you need to have a sound e-commerce strategy. So things like that, or how to scale your business. The one we had with Trent, where he talked about
Yeah.
how to scale, which is probably applicable for nearly many of the people in the room. I mean, not at the extent of zero, but still everybody's growing and scaling.
Yeah.
And you want to have those strategies in place. So it's really good. Yeah. I love the learning components as well.
Yeah.
And I always try to record them and watch them after. Because sometimes in my events, I'm running
Exactly.
around.
Yeah.
I haven't concentrated on the whole thing. So
I always
Yeah.
like to make a note sometimes and
Yeah.
just go back and just certain things you just flash back and sit down and just
it
and
opens
just
your mind.
exactly like just thinking about it and it just like then it's help us when we making a decisions like sometimes just like what make a simple example like any failure they have done and you just learn and you don't want to do it again, that will save a business like a lot of cost, a lot of wrong happening,
Yes.
and just improve the company from like in a different perspective. So it's definitely like a lot of
Fantastic.
insight. Yeah.
Great to hear. So look, I've thoroughly enjoyed chatting to you, hearing your story, coming from Nepal, doing some cleaning, building an entire business around it, and scaling it to the where it is today, which is like a very, very impressive journey. And what I love as well, this whole thing about giving back, which is so important. I think as people coming from, I say the subcontinent, which includes like Nepal as well, but coming from various ethnic backgrounds, once you build success, it's really important to now help the next generation or next group of people.
Yeah.
So I love all of this about you. And look, just before we wrap up, I want to just ask you, Benji, do you have what are your any final thoughts you want to share, or where to next? Where is White Spot going in the next 10 years? Or what do you see in the future?
That's one of the things I always think, like every time we talk about the team and especially my management team and I go and ask him what next. We always have this discussion like what next, right? Because sometimes I feel like we can do a lot better and better and better. So currently like what next happening is like definitely we are looking. Currently, we manage around 600 clients, so like that's quite a bit of diverse client in all different industry. We are looking to expand to meet their requirements because we have so many clients. Everyone expectation is different. So what we wanna become we are trying to create an ecosystem for them where they can just like they choose us, but also we are there servicing them from every single service they're looking, especially in the cleaning or facility management service point of view. So that's the one of the things we want to make that ecosystem so closer, so they have that all the solution. Also, I don't. We want to limit their distance, right? So as I said, like we are doing in New South Wales, if the client want us in New Zealand or to make things happen, similar national portfolio clients, this is like they can work on that. That's make them like closing the gap of the distance, because they get a similar system throughout the continent or countries. So that's something we want to achieve for them. And a little bit on innovation. We are working on innovation and sustainability part of our industry standard, because the industry is so fast growing and everything we're talking about the innovation, we're talking about the sustainability. So we are working and we are making a lot of integration part of our system, how we can add value to the client based on innovation and sustainability process. So might be the client might have some requirement on achieving some goals on sustainability. So we consult with them, talk about them, and we come with our own plan and we make them achieve their goals, which help us achieve our goals. So this is something we are working on at the moment.
Fabulous. Oh, look, it's wish you the very best. Sounds very, very exciting. And also to, industry like cleaning to take technology and sustainability factors into it and drive that growth is really fascinating, because I know you've done a lot of work on technology as well and systematizing everything. So amazing. Wish you the very best in the next phase, maybe New Zealand, maybe further into Asia, maybe. all
Yes.
over the world. Maybe it'll be worldwide. Somebody will be like, "Can I have some cleaning in New York?" You'll be like, "No problem. We'll be
Yeah,
there tomorrow."
yeah, that's what we were talking about. We were talking to the team like, okay, with New Zealand, what next? Maybe we're gonna look to Dubai next and Singapore next. So yeah,
Yeah,
there is a lot coming up.
absolutely,
So there
absolutely,
is a lot
absolutely.
happening.
Lot to look forward to. Look, I wish you the very, very best and some amazing insights. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast, sharing all your thoughts and insights. And it's great to learn more about you and your background and also about White Spot. So wish you the very best.
Thank you, Raj. Really appreciate this one and also providing me opportunity to, share my story from my end. So it's really, thank you so much. Really appreciate
My
that.
pleasure. Fantastic.
Thank
Thanks.
you.